Hey, Klara, Adalena, the Love for Life Academy, winning in love. Yay. And I've promised to do a theme series on that, and we are doing that. This is our first topic, our second session, actually. And I'm setting this all up correctly, so bear with me a moment. Pam, pam. Where do I need to go? Not here. It's still hard to keep doing two things at the same time. Yeah, coming there. Yay. Winning in Love, Klara, Adalena, the Love for Life Academy. You know, what I keep hearing again and again and again and again, and what I know so well myself, right? You go on a date, you're full of hope, you're there, and then it just all falls flat. It's like, oh my God, do I need to spend a night with this guy? Know that feeling? Or the opposite, you're going on a date, you're full of hope, you're coming there. There's this amazing man sitting there, and you have this wonderful night together. And after that, you never hear from him. Happens, right? No, not right. It does happen, but it's not right. If you're just ready to get out of this all, if you're just ready to be one of those women who win in love, and to have the man come back to them again and again, the kind of woman who can choose in love, then stay with me this session and this series, because this is about winning in love. And you can, of course you can. You've been winning in everything. You've been investing in your career. Think of your career a moment. Where are you now? What level have you reached? And how long have you been working towards it? How many hours have you been studying? How many times were you like desperate, like I'm never going to get there? I don't know how to do this. Yet you persevered, yet you found a coach, yet you took another training, yet you just tried it again. That's a winning attitude. And I'm going to give you a shortcut to win in love. This is about finding your man in a couple of months. Not years, not decennia, months, right? Because you are going to make these inner shifts to really step into your vulnerability. And awesome to see some women here. Do know that this is interactive. So if you recognize what I'm saying, just give me a hand, give me a hello, anything. And if you have questions or want to give you example, it really helps, because the more examples I get, the more specific I can become. And if I work on your example, right, you will get so much value from this. So do share, it's interactive. And we're talking about not being stood up on your date and not having to order with the waiter saying, well, I said I would wait till he came, but I think he's not coming. Give me a big chocolate pie and apple pie, and it's about now having none of that anymore. This is when you're serious, like I want love now. Christmas, right? Christmas is coming. You said all time in 2018 it would be my year of love. Where is that now? Well, it's right here, right now. So being vulnerability is key in that. Once you get how to be vulnerable, you don't burn yourself out anymore, you don't give too much anymore, but you're really in a place of gaining energy from every date and from having that date be close to your last date, right? once you make this shift and you really learn how to be vulnerable, not semi-vulnerable, but a true vulnerability. Once you learn that, you go to sleep and wake up next to somebody with kisses and hugs, and just waking up in the warm bed and sharing your gratitude that morning, and having already so much richness even before you get out of bed, right? And then jumping out of bed knowing it's going to be a lovely day with a lot of winning, and at the end you'll be back with your man. That's the kind of life you get when you get this shift of being vulnerable. And I'm just coming out of a call with my, the women who actually work with me, my mentees. And it's amazing the things that get shared there. A woman who really feels like, I see where I was holding back. And now I shifted that. I can go back to my ex, and it's not settling. No, it's not at all. It's like the best sex I ever had. But I didn't know before how to find that with him. It's making these shifts that we're going to talk about right now. So this is not theory. There's actually women doing this right now, and it's actually working for them, right? That's what I want to get across. So to explain what this shift is, vulnerability, and how to really get there in love and have that, make it not be interchangeable. And again, to the newcomers, Klara, Adalena here, top lifestyle and love coach here in Europe, and excited to talk to you today about vulnerability, sharing the principles with which the women who work with me rock their love lives, change their future, claim their happiness, like now, like in a short time, make that available to you. This is interactive, so do, give me a hello, ask your questions, let me know when it resonates. It makes it so much more deeper and personal. So rocking your vulnerability. Think a moment of the talent shows or ice dancing. Personally, I'm a great fan of ice dancing, especially since I discovered Torville and Dean. Now, they've already been around for a long time. In 1984, they won the Olympics. But so many people still know it. That one show, half of the United Kingdom, because they're English, half of the United Kingdom was watching. Many people in the world were watching. Hey, Michelle, good to see your son this morning. Because what was so special about that one dance? What was special? That these people loved each other deeply. They're not partners in life, but they love each other deeply. And the dance was about their love. And it was about the depth and the beauty of their love. It was about their journey of being a clerk and a policeman officer to standing there in front of the world. They were winning because of how they were living their love. They had their unique way to express their love, and they did it in front of the world, and the world felt it. They held nothing back. They were vulnerable. They were like almost kissing, like you can only do in a dance, kissing without kissing. They were making love. They were showing the despair of love. They were showing how the energy was building, and they hardly knew how to hold it anymore. They were dancing all of that. Nothing held back. They were in the zone. They were there. They made eye contact, and the whole stadium would feel it. Because that's how love works. When you truly do it, the whole world feels it. And first of all, your partner feels it, right? Don't do it. It becomes one of those shows that people think, oh yeah, that was very interesting. Oh, what was it? Ice dance. Yeah, you like ice dance? No, not really. But this transcended ice dance. This was love. This was two people surrendering to love. From that place of we are winning over the world. Now that's the place that will touch the heart of any man. And when you find this, you won't be, good morning, Joanne, you won't be interchangeable. When you find this, There is no, oh yeah, that was nice, but I'm not ready for a relationship. Toodaloo. No, this is what life is about. This is where life is happening. This is where people are attracted to. But do you hear that they truly showed up in a place of vulnerability? Their dresses were like nothing, it was so thin. Their masks were like nothing, it was so thin. They showed up exactly as the people that they are, deeply, deeply loving their sport, their journey, each other. So that's how I want you to show up on your first date and your second and your third and your fourth. But if something in you is still like, for first date, that's kind of leaning back, checking out, what kind of guy is this? What man will be attracted to that? And you're like, yeah, but I'm not attracted to this one anyhow, so why would I? Well, that's not how life works, right? These two people, Christopher Dean and Jane Torval, they didn't get to stand in the Olympics just by holding back, right? They got to stand there by practicing. A part of the story that I really love is that early in the morning, before anyone else had gotten up, they were already in the ring. The cleaners were still busy. And they danced their dance. Did they hold back because, this is not the real thing, this is not important? No, they gave it their all. And how do we know? Because all the cleaners stopped cleaning and were mesmerized and looking at these two people. And they clapped at the end. And Jane and Torval were like, or Jane and Christopher were like, okay, I didn't realize there was anyone here. So I want you to show up this way on any date, whether the guy is worth it or not. And you would be surprised when you show up this way, how different they show up. And somebody that may seem like a total jerk can actually be an amazing guy. But he was also kind of, okay, let's see. And once you are showing you're the real deal, he's like, well, I need to show my best game too here. Right? And then it becomes interesting. And maybe it's still not your guy. Hey, Ineke, glad you're here and giving us a hello. Welcome. Maybe he's still not your man. So what does being vulnerable mean? It means sharing your full heart, like these two people with ice dancing. You can still Google them, Torval and Dean, Olympic gold. You just plop up and you will see it. You'll be touched. You can watch it now, you can watch it later. That's how I want you to show up. Because then you're alive. Every cell in your body is dancing with love, with life, with winning. That's where I want you to be. And that is not the same as what many people confuse with vulnerability. They think, okay, so I'm on this date and I'm really thinking this is a great guy. And I say to him, what I really want is kids. And then I think that's vulnerable. It's actually being needy. It's actually giving your power away. You can talk about having kids on the first dates, but that's another story. Well, maybe we can include it here. But when it's all about how do you do it? From which place do you do it? Right? But if you do it from that place of, I'm kind of checking you out. I want kids. Are you ready for that? What are you actually saying? I'm giving my power away. I'm letting you decide how this date goes. That's what you're really saying. Now, who's interested in that? Nobody, right? Are the cleaners going to stop their work for somebody doing that? No. But if you really sit there and allow yourself to fall silent, silence is a great one for the first date. Allow yourself to be silent and not that kind of silent, I don't know what to say. Are you going to say something first? No. Silence, looking him into the eye and feeling what you're really feeling. Whatever it is. You don't have to come up with something beautiful. That dance, that bolero dance, that Olympic winning dance, it wasn't all sweet and beautiful. It was also raw. Christopher was also throwing Jane around. It was quite shocking, actually. That's the truth, right? That was his truth. You know more about these two people, you know that's part of their dynamics. They can be totally perfectly aligned, and he can be pretty rough with her. But because they're holding it, it's okay, right? But the fact that he was able to show that to the world, how vulnerable is that? So this is what it's about, to truly feel you're on that date, you're allowing the words to fall still, you're maybe looking into his eyes, and you're feeling like, maybe I don't know if I can open up for you. Maybe that's what you're feeling. I don't know if I can open up for you. Now if that's your truth, that's being vulnerable. But if you're like, I don't think you're the right kind of guy for me, that's not being vulnerable, that's being shitty, right? That's going into judgment. And that's a very safe place to be in. I judge the whole world. You're not worth to lick my whatever, right? That's not safe. That's playing it safe. That's playing the low risk game. I want you to dive in fully from the beginning. That's being vulnerable. And how do we dive in fully? By falling silent, really feeling what we're feeling, and really sharing that. Now that will make an unforgettable night, right? Whatever happens, it will be an unforgettable night for both of you. And now just imagine that you come there and somebody comes there who is right, but both of you are now really opening up. So being vulnerable is the key to having man come back and having man want you and no one else. Also being vulnerable is the key, it's the vital ingredient to the kind of fulfilling love relationship that you want. Because if you want it to be intimate, fulfilling, connected, emotional, present for each other, being met, the only way is that you start being vulnerable right now. Every minute that you're holding back is taking away from your chances of finding that. Because let's be honest, once you're over 30, the chances of just finding a man is not that big. Not because they're not around. When you look at the statistics, there's enough men around. That's not the issue. They keep telling us that. That's not the issue. But what is the issue? These men and these women are not finding each other. Actually, when you look at the data, and this is interesting, the people who have been married once, their chances of marrying again are much higher than those who've never married. Why would that be? Well, they know how to be vulnerable. They've known how to go there once, and they know how to do it again. And I want everybody to have access to that, whether you've been married or not, right? Statistically, the chance depends on your age, the chance of finding your partner, but it's shockingly low. For women who are 30, it's just 40% of finding your partner in the next 5 years. Not even in the next year, let alone in the next half year. In the next 5 years. If you put 10 women on a row who are 30 now and who are single and have been single their whole life, statistically speaking, 4 of them will be in a marriage at 35. 6 of them will still be single. Now, these numbers get quickly worse when you get older. Not very uplifting. But my numbers are very different, right? For women who work with me, it's like 80%, 90%, if you look at the ones who are truly doing the work. Of the women who work with me find their partner within half a year. Within half a year, nearly all of them. Of those same 10, 9. And not because I work only with the women who are better at this. No, women come to me who struggle with this, right? Why? Well, this vulnerability theme is one of the main keys. So I really want you to really get that. And start trying it out. And you will see it's not that easy. You will see that you quickly go into keeping some sort of control, or actually into giving your power away. I need you to be the kind of man that I want, right? That's trying to keep control. That's not being vulnerable. But at the same time, it's kind of going into the victim. I need you to be the kind of one that I want. Are you going to do that? Well, then who has the power in that moment? Not you. Neither is it shared, right? I want it to be shared power. So true vulnerability is truly falling silent, coming out of your mind, truly checking in what is going on now inside, and committing to that. It's one of the first commitments. I always say commitment is not one act, it's a series. And it begins with saying 9 times committing to yourself, and then the other can commit to you. So this is one of the first commitments. Can I commit to what I feel? Can I say yes to what I'm feeling? And not thinking, this day would be more fun if I would just feel very open and excited about him, but actually I don't. Well, I'll just pretend. Where's the commitment in there? Commitment to play by the social rules. Has that ever found you your partner? Has it ever made you win in life? Right? So this is what it's all about. And it's an awesome journey. Awesome. The women who work with me, they thank me for finding their partners, but just as much, they thank me for starting to lead a life, to coming out of a sort of dead zone and actually having a life that like they never realized they had it, living fully. Vulnerability is truth, is living, is being alive. That's what I want for you. So go and play with it. The coming days, weeks, I will have more shifts, right? Tomorrow we will be talking about the second topic of winning in love, winning within the next 6 months. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have 5 sessions covering different aspects of winning in love. Vulnerability is the first, and I love it because it asks courage, and we're heroes, right? This is your chance to prove it. And if you feel like, yeah, Klara, this rings so true. I know I need to do this, but I also know myself, and I know that on my own, I'm probably going to sabotage. Can you look with me at how to do this? Can you create a game plan for me? Can we together look at what are the essentials I need to do? Then reach out, klaraadalena.com/apply. It's a calendar you can book yourself in. We will speak about it. And it's the soulmate now blueprint that we will create for you personally. klaraadalena.com/apply. By the way, I will soon be starting to ask money for those calls. They're still free now, but just so you know, there is so much value in there. It's time to start asking some money for those. Joanne, a question, thank you. Sometimes I feel anxious to be vulnerable with someone on a date that it turns out I'm not attracted to because it feels like I'm leading them on. How can you really overcome that? Good question, thank you. Well, the truth is we're always scared, right? We're always scared because this is about being truth, about being real. We're always scared. The whole thing is, Joanne and everybody, what are you going to allow to lead your life? Your fear or your winner's energy and your love? Your fear or your heart? Your contraction or your expansion? What are you going to let lead? That's basically all it is, Joanne. Because I can speak to you about, why the fear to leading on is nonsense and why it's been put into us as women, but why it's all nonsense. I can speak to you about that. Well, what will happen? The next fear will pop up. Yeah, okay, I get it, Klara, but, and it's not to make fun of you, Joanne, this is just how fear works, right? Fear grabs onto things. And this is the first thing it grabs onto. It's interesting that men are never afraid of that, right? It wasn't put into them that it would be wrong to lead a woman on. Now they start getting scared to be sued for abusing women, right? That's now what men are dealing with. But none of that matters. What matters is, are you going to allow the fear to rule your life? And if so, what do you get? More fear, more loss, more contraction. You're not getting commitment because you're not committing to the truth that is living inside of you. You're allowing myths to hold you back. And thank you for the example, Joanne, because it's so important and all of us do it so easily. And actually, this is bringing me already to one of the other topics I'll be speaking about. So that's very interesting, and they all come together. But in the end, vulnerability changes your life. Klara.adalena.com/apply. And what you get is the Soulmate Now blueprint. So really excited to be sharing all of this with you here and to see more and more women joining us live on the call. Next time, you know, like Ineke, Joanne, Michelle, do introduce yourself. The more personal it gets, the more personal it gets. Aloha. Practice it. In my group, The Art of a Relationship You Love, share about your journey with vulnerability. And let's rock this week. Aloha.